On this episode of Law Weekly, we review the judiciary under the Buhari administration. We also have a feature on the latest report of the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) on combating corruption in the country, plus a feature on the Lagos multi-door courthouse as it clocks 15. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Shola Sheyeli. One of the major promises made during the run-up to the 2015 general election by Muhammadu Buhari was to fight corruption in Nigeria. The president recognized early enough, though, that he could not win the war against graft without the support of the judiciary, the third arm of government, which is constitutionally empowered to adjudicate and interpret laws, review government actions, and generally maintain the rule of law. One of the first major actions of the president in office was the setting up of the Presidential Advisory Committee on Anti-Corruption, which has Professor Ishesage SAN as its chairman and Professor Bolaji Owasonye as secretary. Part of the committee's task is to advise the president on how to relate with the judiciary and how to reform the criminal justice system. In May 2016, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, also inaugurated the National Prosecution Coordination Committee set up by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami SAN. The committee is primarily charged with the handling of high-profile cases with public interest elements. Following its inauguration, the AGF on August 10, 2016, directed agencies with powers to prosecute to compile pending cases in various courts across the country so the committee could review same. The federal government also set up 20 teams of prosecutors comprising 80 lawyers to handle a number of the high-profile criminal cases investigated by law enforcement agencies, including the EFCC. The teams had 4 lawyers each, with a senior advocate of Nigeria as the leader.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
However, 2 years into this administration, none of the high-profile corruption-related cases commenced since President Buhari came into power has been concluded. Most of them are at best at trial stage, months after they commenced. Some of the blame for this unfortunate development has been laid at the doorsteps of the anti-corruption agencies. Others have identified the lack of a robust and well-peopled prosecutorial team to drive the government's anti-corruption efforts as being responsible for the delay, while many more put the blame on the judiciary itself, with allegations of corruption trailing the judiciary. Perhaps the most controversial event of the last 2 years is the arrest and trial of some judicial officers over corruption allegations. On October 7, 2016, some operatives of the Department of State Services (DSS) raided the homes of some judicial officers. Those arrested in the wake of the raid were Justice Sylvester Nguta and Justice Inyang Okoro, both of the Supreme Court, the suspended presiding justice of the Court of Appeal, Ilorin Division, Justice Mohammed Samiya, Justice Kabiru Alta of Kano State High Court, and Justice Adeniyi Ademola of the Federal High Court, Abuja. The DSS alleged that it recovered over 270 million naira from the homes of these judges, while Justice Ademola and his wife Olabowale have been freed on charges of receiving various sums of money as gratifications from law firms and others. Justice Nguta is still in court, trying to clear his name. Another judge, Justice Rita Ophelia Jumagobia, whose house was not raided, was later arraigned by the EFCC for allegedly collecting a 5 million naira gratification from a senior advocate of Nigeria, Chief Godwin Obla. She's also facing other charges of fraud and corrupt enrichment. Another controversy which defined the relationship between the Buhari administration and the judiciary was in the appointment of a new Chief Justice of Nigeria after the retirement of Justice Mahmood Mohammed. Rather than swaying the next most senior justice of the Supreme Court, the president chose to appoint Justice Walter Onoge in an acting capacity. These drew a lot of reactions from stakeholders, with many faulting the move.
An acting Chief Justice under Section 231 of the Constitution cannot act for more than 3 months.
I think the whole process that we are seeing now is that of proper vetting, proper studying, and so on. And I really think this country should allow the process to be complete without all this hysteria, blackmail, frenzy everywhere.
It took 4 months before the controversy was put to rest by the acting president, Professor Shibajo, who forwarded Justice Onoge's name to the Senate for confirmation and later swore him into office.
Do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance.
As the Buhari administration counts down to the end of its mandate, most members of the bar and the bench believe that the government must join forces with the judiciary to strengthen its independence and its integrity, especially by ensuring that it enjoys financial autonomy at all levels. The government must also respect and be seen to respect the rule of law by obeying court judgments.